Good afternoon and welcome to you to this podcast. It's going to be a short one. Autumn 2025 and living in love and faith. What's the score, you might ask, about living in love and faith? So the latest document is released in spring of 2025. It talks about changing views in our society on same-sex relationships, identity, sexuality, relationships and marriage, changing views in our society. The church agrees it needs to better include and support LGBTQI people. I'm quoting. The final proposals will go to the General Synod of the Church of England in 2026. There will be standalone or bespoke services in which prayers would be said, i.e. marriage style. In other words, what they're proposing is de facto marriage services in the Church of England. So in addition to use in a regular service, standalone services are to be offered. This basically, if you think about it, it means that effectively a marriage in name only, but not de jure, it's de facto, will be offered. What happens if you don't agree to all of this? Well, as mentioned, I mentioned this in the previous video, pastoral reassurance through delegated episcopal ministry. Try saying that after a few glasses of wine. In other words, what are they going to do with people who don't agree with them? Alternative bishops support in the region. So if you don't agree with that direction of travel, you're supposed to find an alternative bishop for support if you're a member of the clergy in your region. The PCC, the Parish Church Council, would request this actual support. So the PCC is vital. The Church of England feels that there is a place for different theological convictions within the church. Really? Really? What about Jesus? What does Jesus say? Not the Church of England. What would St. Paul, the Apostle of Christ, say? Not the Church of England. What about clergy and same-sex marriages? Currently, there are restrictions on clergy being married in a civil service, a civil partnership, and living together in a vicarage. A report is due to the bishops in the autumn of 2025. The whole package may be considered in February 2026 at the synod for debate and decision. So we are rapidly coming to a crossroads. It's decision time, folks, about LLF. I'm going to just finish now by just asking a few questions. Why do we need to spend so much time on 2% of the population? 98% or 97% of the population are not actively homosexual or gay. Secondly, assuming LLF is contra or against Scripture, why do Scripture believers cooperate with the LLF and its adherents? Why should we, if it goes against Scripture? Then thirdly, why potentially divide the church? And then fourthly, and I've mentioned this before, sola scriptura is the Latin phrase, Scripture alone. It goes, the whole premise of LLF goes against Scripture. It says that there is a place for different theological convictions in the church. I don't think so, because Paul doesn't think so. Paul the Apostle doesn't think so, and neither does Jesus. And that's good enough for me, folks. You take your choice on this one, because we are reaching that crossroads. Have a great day. May the Lord bless you as he's blessed me. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.